game that inspired a coach midweek?
Oddly enough, when I was at SC was the week Tyrone got notified he was let go. So I have been part of it. Not maybe in this circumstance with it being a coordinator. Don't know what happened. I'm sure, probably after the game we'll have, Nigel and I will talk and get a little more information on what happened. Kind of odd.
As a play caller, what do you expect from the defense?
They're not going to change. This has been Nigel's defense anyway. This is what he's done since he was at Oregon State all the way to Nevada and now back. So they won't change.
For a fan, as a thumbnail, what's their characteristic?
Well, they play an aggressive style in that they play quite a bit of man-to-man on the wide receivers. They really try to keep the box intact with their three linebackers so they can defend the run and rely on their safeties to be that eighth defender in the run game. They've got a very, very good defensive front with the transfer of Jackson, the other kid on the 94 on the other side, and then obviously a local kid, Julius Moore, on the inside. Those are three really Pac-12 defensive linemen playing for them, and that's where their defense starts. They rely on those guys to get pressure on the quarterback and to fuse the running game.
You guys have been blitzed a lot the first 2 weeks. How do you think you've handled it? Is it kind of a higher rate than you anticipated?
We got blitzed extensively the first game for sure, and that's San Diego State's brand and style of defense. I don't know if it was as much versus LSU. I thought LSU did a pretty good job of relying on their front four to create pressure. They did it a variety of ways. They pressured us some, and we're going to get it from Portland State as well. I think we've done an adequate job. I think when people pressure you and blitz you, you have to make them pay. You have to create big plays off of the pressure, and we haven't done probably as good a job of that, of making them pay in the secondary when they're in their one-on-one scenarios. And so it's been a big point of emphasis of ours of making those plays in our one-on-one settings.
Is that because the routes haven't been crisp, or
I think we're just a little bit off. The continuity's just a little bit off. We're just a hair off here or there, and that doesn't mean that we won't get there. It's just it's taken us probably a little longer than we would have liked.
Are you comfortable with where the running backs are right now through this week? Have you seen any
improvement? I thought this was their best week of work, especially the two young guys. I thought Eric Wilson and Desden Petty had really good practices. They had another good one today. I think Bishop will still be kind of our lead feature back, but I think we all feel much more comfortable putting Desden or Eric into the game and earlier and getting them into the flow of the game.
Is that really key for you to get the running game going early as opposed to maybe starting Keith off passing a lot and then going to the running game?
Every game's different. I think it's always great when you have balance and you can do both. It's fun, and you can run it and throw it and mix it and match it and do all that stuff. I know it's important for us for 17 to be hot and doing his thing, and I know it's important for us to run the football to set up some of our play action passes. So we'll continue to strive for balance. I know we haven't achieved that in the first two ball games, but that doesn't mean it's time to just change gears completely. I think we can achieve balance, and we'll continue to strive for it.
What's kind of the key to defending the pistol?
Man, you got to be disciplined. You have to be disciplined against the pistol. Who has the dive? Who has the quarterback? Who has the option? And then the second thing that's really key is getting lined up. They do a lot of kind of, I don't want to say oddball formations, but unbalanced formations into the boundary that you have to get lined up and then do your assignment really, really well and be disciplined with your eyes and do your job.
And it sounds like they're doing a lot more throwing out of that this year than they have in the past and with their quarterback and stuff. I mean, what is that? I guess how does that change the dynamic of that?
The same thing, being disciplined. And when we're in man-to-man coverage, covering your man and not getting caught looking at the quarterback or the dive, and next thing you know, it's a play-action pass and they throw it over your head. So being disciplined. And the other thing they do a nice job of is designed quarterback runs. He's a big kid. He's a physical runner, and they have some designed runs for him that challenge you as well. So it's a good offense. They do a nice job.
After last week, how is it important to get a win this weekend going to the bye week 2-1?
Oh, it'd be great. It'd be great for, I think for our own psyche, because, I don't think that we've, I don't think that we've wavered on that. We have a chance to be a very good football team. But anytime you lose the way we lost last week, I'm sure there's a smidgen of doubt in there. There's a bit of hesitation. Secondly, for our fans, I like our fans to be fired up about this football team because it is a good one. And so it'd be great for us to finish off these first three games 2-1, heading into a bye and then getting ready for a great Pac-12 race.
So you mentioned Keith Price and just maybe taking some things off his plate a little bit more in terms of just preparing for himself. Have you seen any result of that? I mean, just
he was awesome today. Keith was awesome today. Best Thursday this year, and I always like Thursdays. I always want to feel good Thursday, when we're done. And he was fantastic today. I mean, really good understanding of what we're doing. The most accurate Thursday he's had. I mean, he was on point with what he was doing. He was playing fast. So hopefully that plays out into Saturday, where he's playing at a high level with good efficiency. He's playing with good tempo, good energy about himself. Because when he is that way, we're generally better too, and we have a tendency to feed off of him when he's in that frame of mind.
You talked about the offense just being a shit off there. Is that kind of reflective of what Keith's game's been like right now?
Yeah, and I don't know if it's him so much. Maybe I don't know. We're just a couple bang plays. I think to last week, and there's 4 plays that really stand out to me. The second play of the game, the angle route to Bishop is just we just don't catch the ball. The third play, the corner route to Jadon. In the second quarter, the deep ball to Kaysen on their sidelines, he's out of bounds by about an inch, and then the third down play to Austin on their sidelines, he's just out of bounds again. So we're just missing just a hair. And so I think when we get clicking, it'll only start to steamroll and get better and better and better. And if today was any indication of that, then we're on the right path because we were good today.
How confident are you with the second tight end spot this week compared to maybe last week or week 1?
I feel better. Again, those guys have worked hard at it. We're trying to spread the responsibilities out a bit more, whether it's Michael Harvickson, Evan Hudson, or now Josh Perkins. We're trying to spread the responsibilities out a bit more so we don't put as much on all of their plate and they can focus on what they need to focus on, the things that they do well, so that they can be successul when they get their opportunities.
You said now Josh Perkins, does that mean he's starting to get more of a role in the team as the season goes on?
Yeah, he is. He's done a nice job, and I know that he kind of had a rough couple days there in training camp, but to his credit, he's come to work every day with a professional attitude. He's worked at it. He's earned his way onto special teams, which is important for us at that position, and is now earning playing time on offense, and so I'm happy for him.
Steve, there were definitely some special teams changes and kickoffs and rulings and whatnot. Now that you've seen it through 2 games, do you change your philosophy a little bit? Do you all kind of tweak it a little bit?
I don't know that. I think after the opening kickoff of the season, we've covered our kickoffs pretty well, and I think Travis's leg is getting stronger and feels good about what he's doing. So personnel-wise, that's okay. We obviously changed our punt team from more of a traditional punt to a spread punt, but that had nothing to do with rules. It was just what fit our personnel. We're trying to get better cover guys on the field. I'd like to think as we get a little bit more comfortable, some of our young guys around special teams get more comfortable, we'll get more out of our return game. And we were an excellent kickoff return team a year ago, one of the best in our conference. I'd like to think we can be that again. And I'd like to, hopefully get a couple opportunities at some punt returns because I think we have a couple dynamic guys going back there that can do something with the ball when they get it.
One last thing, Coach. I know, I'm sorry. Wednesday was my day off, but I was just wondering if you could comment a little bit about, your new practice.
Yeah, I don't mind commenting. It's just, I think that, hopefully you guys can all understand where we're coming from on this thing because we don't have a rule that governs us by the NCAA or the Pac-12 that mandates us to report injuries. And the majority of our conference does not. And as you start to get into conference play, it's a pretty big competitive disadvantage if you're telling our opponent or I'm telling our opponent, hey, this is who's playing, this is who isn't, this is who's going to be limited, and I don't get any information back. And so until they change that rule, which they may or may not, we have to put ourselves in the best competitive advantage for our football team so that they can be successful on Saturday.
Did you look through? Did you take a while to think about it, or was it a really split decision? Have you been thinking about this for a while?
I've been thinking about it, and we've obviously, we're enduring what we've endured this training camp and early in the season with the amount of injuries we've had. And we're gradually going to start to get some of these guys back. And as guys start to come back, I'd like to have a little bit of, something in my back pocket for our opponents as we go into some ball games.
Right.